This is a complete hockey podcast that we're about to get into.
Right on.
Ovechkin's going to get 1,000 goals by the end of his NHL career.
But, dude, those Hawks teams are so good. And, like, that's no shot at those Bruins teams either because, like,
yeah,
this is the first year they haven't been in the playoffs since, 2016, I think?
On draft night.
Okay.
NFL draft day.
This year?
Yeah. With their first pick, they're going to announce that they're going to build a new stadium in Arlington Heights. All right, Aaron, welcome to the Koutas show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, this is sweet. I'm repping the Hawks.
I do.
This is a complete hockey podcast that we're about to get into.
Right on.
Plus some more stuff. But who you got winning this year?
Dude, this year's tough. I mean, I kind of initially was hoping Colorado.
Okay.
But I did fill out a bracket the other day, kind of messing around, and I kind of have Winnipeg winning.
Winnipeg.
I think the
Canada regime's coming back.
I think the Winnipeg Fakers can get over the hump in that first round.
Yeah. What do you think about McDavid? Do you think McDavid's going for it again?
I mean, he's always going to be going for it, right? I mean, it's nice that he's like back and healthy. He was like kind of banged up a little bit after the
Four Nations?
The Four Nations. So it's good to have him back, and I think he got his 100th point the other night. So
yeah, and then Ovi, of course. We got a lot of topics to go over, but I think that if the Oilers can do it this year, Connor's just got to be on his game. He has to be the one literally carrying the entire team, which kind of happened last year.
I mean, yeah, what he had set like the postseason record, I think, for assists, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, even then, like they were down 3-1 and still came back to force the game 7. Like, you can never count him out. But I mean, they're missing kind of a ton of guys coming in. I mean, Leon was kind of banged up. They got a couple defensemen that are, a little banged up. So I mean, if those guys aren't ready to go, it'll be might be tough sled.
Yeah, I would say that I saw this TikTok earlier today, and it was like there's literally nothing like playoff hockey, nothing like it.
Did you see that? You saw the NHL's 2025 playoff
the
thing
preview? Oh dude. My gosh, it gets me hyped every time,
dude. It's I think and this year will be cool too because there's a lot of teams that are in it that haven't been in it in a while. I mean, outside of that whole COVID bubble BS with Montreal making the final and stuff like that. I mean, they're back in it and they've been kind of buzzing around the last 10, 15 games. Ottawa's in it. We get to see Brady Tkachuk out there. It'll be nice. Maybe we'll see him and Matthew in the second round together.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's I think what the outside, obviously the video hypes you up, but I think that's the nice thing about the NHL is obviously you have a handful of teams that are going to be shoo-ins with the McDavids, the Austin Matthews, all those guys. But then there's the wild card spots, that Eastern Conference wild card spot was open for a while because all those teams kept losing. So the parity's really nice in the NHL compared to some other sports where it's kind of who's going in. There's teams in the NBA making the playoffs that are 12, 15 games under 500.
And they've swapped it up a little bit in the NBA because they're not doing play-ins.
Right.
Which is a little interesting.
Right.
Because it's one and done essentially for those play-ins. I kind of like that. I don't think that do you think that would ever get adopted by any other sports?
So I know, I feel like baseball does that, don't they?
I don't think so.
There's sometimes a play-in game for that wild card spot.
Yeah, there might
maybe.
Be. Yeah, I think that's true, but I'm not entirely sure.
I know the NHL will probably never do it. Gary's said that the way the format is now, they really like it. Yeah, I'd prefer it if they'd go back to the 1 through 8 in each conference. And
okay,
because I mean, you had
was when did they
Calgary
change it?
This year. What was it after that second? Half lockout season, I think, maybe, or a little bit before that.
It's around 2021, 22 area.
A little bit before that, I think.
Okay.
But you had Calgary this year have 96 points. That's a good season.
Yeah.
And they didn't make the playoffs.
That's crazy.
And they tied some record for the most points in a season.
And they
not
didn't
making
make the playoffs.
Yeah. So it's like I understand where like the wild card thing comes in because, like I said, we got Ottawa and like teams that normally wouldn't be in it, but there's teams like Calgary that probably maybe should have been in it any other year.
So maybe put the wild card up against like the next highest that would be in the tournament, and then kind of like make them play first.
Well, so I think
put that spot in.
One plays the second wild card. So instead of it one being 8, it's like 1 versus wild card 2, and then 2 versus 1, and then it's it goes down the line or whatever.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I feel like the play-ins for some sports are definitely not really like
necessary.
Yeah, they're not.
Right? I mean, unless it's like a dead center tie.
Yeah, like
right?
Almost like these points are exactly the same, and you'd rather see them play a game than do like a goal breaker tiebreaker.
Right.
Like, oh, they had more goals against or more goals for. It's like they got the same amount of points. Just throw them on the rink. Let's have them play. Let's have them do like a 3-game series.
Have them play. Yeah. Well, and that's like because they do the. I mean, it's like seeing that like where in the NHL like that'd be tough because they already like if they're playing a 3-game series for that, the next 3 are 7-game series. Right?
Yeah.
So that's like potential for a lot of hockey to be playing there, especially
and
after,
overtime.
And full length overtimes, right? And you played 82 games during the year, so it's like.
Yeah. It brings me back to the 2012 Blackhawks tournament when they basically were going at like all the way through, and they had so many overtimes.
They had such a clip there. Well, and it was like that year. I think it was the 2013 year they won, and like the amount of games they came from behind in. It was like almost like you like going into the third down a goal. Like you knew they were gonna come back and end up winning no matter what.
Yeah,
like,
I remember they ended up scoring 2 goals in like 30 seconds. I forget which game it was.
Oh, the one to beat the Bruins.
Yeah, they beat the Bruins.
2-17. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I like sat there. They scored, and I'm like, let's go! Like we can do overtime. We can win overtime. And then it's like 30 seconds later they score again.
Right
I'm like, what?
Dude, I was in so I was going to school in New Hampshire at the time.
Okay.
When that was going on.
So you were on the other side of the coin.
I was deep in enemy territory, and I forget. I think the Hawks might have started that season or that series down 0-2 or whatever, and like I was just getting relentlessly like just chirped around campus like so bad, and then they like tied the series or whatever. I obviously ended up winning it, and like after they won it, it was kind of like I was the most wanted man on campus. They were like, everybody was so pissed off, like, it was
where
just
is
like,
he? I need to take him out.
But dude, those Hawks teams were so good, and like that's no shot at those Bruins teams either, because like this is the first year they haven't been in the playoffs since 2016, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's
a long time.
That's a long playoff run. I mean, especially because hockey has so many teams,
right? And
when you get a solid draft pick and a couple of big bodies to just hit people, and you let that first line score and the second and third line just bruise everybody else up.
Well, and that was I'll tell everybody this. I will put the 2013 Blackhawks Cup team against any team ever, because it was like, they had their top 6, but that bottom 6 was like what won them, a lot of their games with the PK with like Frolik and Kruger and they had some dogs out there, man.
And they were just going in there, hitting people, just making good plays, keeping the game alive. And when you put them in there, you're giving your first 6 guys a great rest,
right?
So they can come on and then take advantage of the other
and just
team.
Go out there and buzz around, right? And you had Marian Hossa, probably one of the best 200-foot players ever to play, right?
Yeah, and they were all in form too. Like they were all on their
exactly.
Top game.
Well, and then like the Hossa, like he played for the Red Wings, or played for the Pittsburgh, lost to the Red Wings, played for the Red Wings, lost to Pittsburgh, back-to-back years in the Cup, and then finally won 3 with the Hawks like that third year, and then they won those next 2. But like, yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see something like that in Chicago again.
I would think that Bedard as a single player by himself might be better than any individual player on that 2013 team, but I think the way that 2013 was together, it was just unbeatable.
Right. Well, it was the way they were built, and like, I mean, it's such a different game now. Like, and I'm sure. So you coach, right? You coach soccer. What age group do you coach?
U18 right now.
U18. Okay.
I've coached all age groups.
So okay, perfect. So when I was coaching for a bit, and I had like when I first started, I had Bantams, like they're like 13, 14,
Yep.
and then I had the Squirts who are like 8, 9, 10 years old, and then I had high school kids.
Okay.
Coaching now is like completely different from when like the coaches that I had. Like there's so much more skilled. The kids are so much more skilled today than like I ever was, and I don't know if it's the same in soccer.
It's I mean,
like,
I'd say so.
Dude, everything is like everything's so much more skill, right? It's
Their deking skills or passing
the
skills.
way the game is like developing, right? That's what's like so much different now is like there's so much more skill and like speed and skill, and like the athleticism is like through the roof. Like Connor Bedard's an unreal player, right?
Yeah.
Like, but you still got to be big.
Oh yeah.
You still got to be big. You still got to be strong.
Because
right?
I mean, if you got a D lineman who's just like 230,
right? Well,
and just comes and nails you on the board,
like,
you got to take that.
What he's like 5'8", right? 5'9". I mean, he's strong, right? But that's like. That's the big difference, I think, is like obviously he doesn't have he can't grow him like self-taller, right? But like the skill is so much beyond like what like the older guys had, right? So he's like flying around out there. It's like hard to keep up with him, but like they need to get guys to play with him.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's like.
You think they need more guys to be the bulky hitters, or like the big playmakers?
I mean, honestly, they need like everything.
Yeah.
But like we definitely saw some like big, some good steps out of like a lot of the young guys this year. We definitely need some more. But like he's the first piece. Right?
Yeah.
That's like the difference with like when
Kinda
everyone's
like when Crosby came in.
Right. But he was playing with like, Mary Lemieux was still there. Like he had some like older vets that were like still kind of, decent. But like he's the first piece in like the rebuild. Right. And like that's why it's like I understand how people are like kind of on him, right? Like, we got him to shoot the puck. He does. It doesn't seem like he shoots the puck a lot, even though he's got,
lots of goals.
23 goals this year, I think, or something.
Which is pretty good for 19 years old or 18 years old.
Right. And he's got a lot of assists. He's a good playmaker, but like he's not the guy.
He
right?
can't do it by himself.
Like when people are comparing him to Patrick Kane, when Patrick Kane came in.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Look at the Blackhawks roster when Patrick Kane came in. They had Patrick Sharp. Him and Taze came in together. They had pieces.
They had Keith
Seabrook already. Like
that
he
first
was the
line
final
was so
piece.
strong.
He was the final piece to push them into what they became. Right. Bedard's the first piece, so it's like everyone is like all over the kid, right? And it's like you got to give him time, and you got to give him people to play with.
Yeah.
Right. Like Frankie Nazar, like he made some good steps. I would love to see him. If he's a 30-goal scorer, that'd be perfect. Right. They need to. The guys they have now need to make the step, and the guys that they're drafting have to continue to develop and.
Yeah. Do you think drafting someone, or do you think grabbing someone that's like mid-level right now, like 5 years in the league? What do you think would be better for them?
If you could find a serviceable vet, like I would do. I mean, I didn't hate the Taylor Hall trade. I mean, it kind of sucked because he's like always been kind of like an injury bug, sort of.
Yeah.
But like he had flashes, right? Like he's had so many knee problems, and like his speed used to be one of his like biggest things, right?
Yeah. When you get knee problems, the speed usually goes a little bit down. At that level, it can show a little bit, but
right. I mean, I'd rather. I mean, honestly, it's like both, really. Like if you can find a 5-6 year guy vet who's decent amount of points, But I mean, they have to draft well, and like I'm tired of seeing guys coming out of juniors and get them out of college.
Yeah, I agree too, and also like Chicago's when we're a hockey city.
It's a fun place to be, right?
It's a fun place to be. You got millions of people around you.
I'll rebut that with when the teams are playing well, any of them, Chicago is a fun place.
Yeah,
right?
This is true. I mean, look at the Sox. There's no one in those stadiums, so I get that.
Dude, they're miserable.
And in
they want a new
05
stadium?
Yeah, in 05, they had the whole thing packed every game. So,
and I mean, I don't know how well the Cubs are doing. They're playing okay, I think.
yeah, they're playing.
But like
They have been hitting runs like nobody else.
Well, they beat the Dodgers a couple of weeks ago. It was like the
even yesterday
highest loss they had.
Highest loss for the Dodgers. They had 16 runs.
Yeah,
and then even yesterday they were like, I forget, they were down.
Oh, it was like 11-7 or something.
Yeah, they were down 7-1, and they hit like 10 runs in one inning.
Yeah,
and came back. It was something crazy.
Yeah.
So if they can hit like that, the Cubs are going to be so much fun to watch.
There's so many changes to baseball too.
Yeah, but anyways, the Chicago sports, when you have a good Chicago team, the whole city's behind you.
Right.
And like, if I was, a somewhat like looking to be franchise player, I was kind of behind the first guy on the team, and I was a second or third guy, and I could come in and become that star of like a big city like Chicago. I don't know why I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it. Just the city. I've always said this to my friends too. I'm like, if I was working as an NBA player or NHL player, whatever professional sport, I wouldn't want to live in like northern Canada.
No,
you know what I mean? Like, I would want to live in like Florida or Texas.
So you don't
or
think
Chicago
you'd want to play
or
for the Toronto Raptors or something like that?
See, but Toronto's like a big city though.
Right.
So I'd be okay with that because it's like a bigger city. But if you're putting me in, say there's a team in Omaha, it's like, do you really want to live in Omaha?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
have you ever been to Omaha?
Yeah. I went to school in Iowa. It's right next to it. So
not the place.
It's like, it's great, but it's not like, it's either, Omaha or like Chicago. It's like, why would I not want to live in Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
So for those guys that are sitting in a team that they're, want the big city life, or they want, that surrounding fan base, because the Blackhawks fans will always show up no matter what, no matter if we're good or bad, which is impressive in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I would say just sell that big dream to these players when you're having the conversations with them. And I mean, I don't know how you can't convince somebody to come to Chicago when that's the story behind it.
Free agent or something.
Yeah.
Well, and it's, I mean, a lot of people, more people are going to want to play with Bedard as he's getting older, I think, and kind of develops into like the player that we're hoping that he can be.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So why Bedard is so good? Have you heard the story behind his similarities to Crosby?
Yeah, I mean, most of
the theory behind it.
I'm curious to hear what this is.
So when Bedard was younger, he got injured.
Yeah.
And he hurt his wrist, and it was the same injury that Crosby got with his wrist.
Mm.
And the thing is that this specific injury changes your wrist shot so that you like flick it a certain way.
So I think that was I think I know what you're talking about.
And so Crosby and Bedard have the exact same wrist shot now, and it's like one of the most deadly in the league.
Yeah, well, and he does like the toe drag release thing.
Yeah,
which is like,
that's a tough skill.
Yeah. Oh, dude, his shot is insane.
Yeah,
I wish I could have shot like that. But yeah, I think he'll be all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I saw that correlation, and I was like, they're like making this dude out to be Crosby.
Yeah,
and that was one thing that you were talking about earlier. Is like they're kind of getting on him a little bit, kind of not. Like, we got to make sure we don't kick this kid out and put too much pressure on his shoulders to where he's like, I can't handle this anymore. I can't be that guy for everything. I can't literally do everything. So like, let's bring some other players in, and then before we do that, he's like, I can't handle this. I'm leaving and joining a better team that can actually have a chance to win.
Right.
So if we give him the chance to win and the opportunity's there, we just have to perform, I think he'll stay for a long time. He could be the Chicago franchise player.
He's still what? I think 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Like he's still got a lot of like developing and stuff to do. So I mean, he could be, like Sidney Crosby at some point where it's like, we have a chance every year because I'm on the team kind of thing,
Yeah, and that's what I hope it comes down to, because you can push a player to his brink, and then he'll be like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm just gonna join a team.
Yeah.
Or like I'm the second guy maybe, or I'm the second guy to like a vet like McDavid, and I help him push to win the championship next year or whatever. So I just hope we don't do that.
No, I think we'll be.
I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be all good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what goes on with this playoffs, but the one story that I remember from the playoffs for hockey, which is hilarious, is like when I was in high school, they talked about how all the players got like pizza delivered to the locker rooms because they play the full like 20-minute overtimes. And so they're just like eating meals and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I thought that was the craziest thing. I didn't believe them at first when they said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would they order pizza? They're in the middle of a game. Like, wouldn't they want to stay light? And they're like, you got to think about this. These guys haven't eaten for an hour plus.
Everything. Yeah.
You're losing all the calories. You're playing at this level. And then you're going back on the ice after 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and going to play another 20-minute game.
I mean, when I was like in college, we would like if we had long games like that, or if we were on the road or something. Like there was guys like I'd eat in the room sometimes, like in between periods or something. But it was usually like a banana or an apple. It wasn't a piece of
literally pizza everywhere. Yeah,
I usually say that for after. But,
right. The craziest one of halftime snacks is Jamie Vardy in soccer. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
So they won the Premier League in, I forgot what year. I think it's 2012 maybe, or 2016. But this guy, Jamie Vardy, he literally drinks Red Bull nonstop. He drinks them before the game, and he drinks them at halftime. It's all he does. So like he's literally in the tunnel before walking out, and he's just got a Red Bull in his hand, just drinking it, sipping on it, and just like tosses it to the side. And then at halftime, you see him walking out
so much
downing
so
a Red Bull. I mean, if you looked at the way he plays and you looked at him, it looks like he's on 5
feel like
cans of Red
have
Bull.
A heart attack.
You'd think, but I think that he's wired that way to where he's okay drinking that many Red Bulls.
Yeah,
it sounds stupid,
that's
but
insane. I mean, I know guys that would do like pre-workout and stuff before, which I'm just like,
I get it though. I get it. I mean, it's a little energy boost.
Too jittery though, especially that pre-workout. You're out there like itching and stuff.
Yeah, if you had like maybe like an 150 milligram caffeine pre-workout, that could be decent. But like anything above 200 for me is like
too much.
Dude,
I mean, that's like I
much.
drink the Alanis.
Yeah, those are good.
But those have like 200 milligrams.
And they're also they're not stim. So
right.
The difference between no stim and stim, like the stim's gonna make you
like jittery
and
ready
in
to
hockey
go
especially. You don't
shit.
need that.
Well, and I don't even like I never used to like do that before hockey and stuff. It always just made me too like I don't know. I'm a big firm believer that like if you're playing a sport long enough that like you should be able to get up for a game.
Oh yeah.
No matter what. Like if you're showing up to the rink and like you need a Red Bull or something to like get hyped up, you're not really like into it.
Yeah.
At least for me, I don't know.
Like the pregame jitters.
Right.
Like those are natural.
Right. If you're not getting that
basically.
Before you show up,
or
like when you get there, before the game, then like, something's not clicking. Something's not hitting right.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Those pregame jitters they're the best.
Yeah.
Because you sit there and you're like, oh, I want to play.
You're ready to go, right? Yeah. Like, and if I had that and then like drank a Monster or like a Red Bull, like I would be like
way too overstimulated.
I like try to catch the pass and I'd be firing off my stick, like
you feel like
no touch.
Shit, my bad.
Just like way too.
Yeah, too stiff or too much. Yeah, I think it's good in situations. I think the one thing that soccer does well is they do the running packets. I don't know if you've ever seen those before.
No.
So they've adapted them in the past like 3 or 4 years, but they're basically just it's like 2,300 milligrams of sodium. It's like tons of sodium.
Is it like for cramps?
It's all for cramps and like longevity of running. So it's essentially you take it 5 minutes before a 45-minute workout. And that's like it's like running. It's not like lifting or anything. So it's just like long distance running, and all it is just gives you like tons of electrolytes.
Is it like a pill or like a drink?
It's like a packet of like mush and stuff. I have some here. I'll show you after. But it's like chocolate. Okay. It's like watermelon,
like a mustard packet.
Like a mustard packet. Yeah, and you rip it open and you like it's like chocolate fudge.
Yeah.
Delicious, dude.
Okay.
And then like watermelon's pretty good too. Some of them they do like liquid form, but the people that drink the liquid form, you look at their faces, dude, they do not like it.
Doesn't taste good.
They like well, it's like a shot basically. It's like an ounce.
Yeah.
And they just rip it, and then they're just like
sour.
Like but
I mean, there's been guys in like the NHL benches that have like been caught doing like packets of mustard and stuff, like in like longer games or like in between shifts and stuff to like help with cramping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
what does mustard do? Is that legit?
I've never done it. I'm sure
is
somebody
it like actual
smarter.
mustard, or is it like
Yeah, no, it's like a legitimate like Heinz packet of mustard that you would get from
Oh.
like one of the hot dogs from a
Yeah.
baseball stadium. I don't know.
It's all just salt, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know the science behind it. I'm sure someone like way smarter than me could tell you
Yeah.
how it works, but
I mean, if you think about it, it's like sodium. Sodium in your body is going to keep the water in
right.
and then push it towards your muscles if it stays in your body.
Because I mean, after a certain point, you stop retaining water.
Right.
When you're like sweating, like through like your normal drinking and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So all the water you would drink with that sodium in your body would basically be retained. I think that's the kind of the point.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, it makes sense.
Science. So that's crazy. I think the only sideline snacks I've had, sometimes I have like, you get the candies. Those are good too. But again, it's like sugar and sodium for the short bursts of energy. Because like,
are you out there handing these to your players and stuff during the games?
No, I'm not. But there is one kid that I had. Well, he has like, I think he's type 2.
Okay.
But he would just have a bunch of like candy in his bag.
Yeah.
And he would have to eat it because of his like detection
Diabetes
or whatever. But in all honesty, like if you popped like a couple Starbursts or like a couple Skittles in before going in, like you'd have more energy.
You think so?
For sure.
Yeah, but it's just that sugar energy. So it's like after like 10 minutes, it's just like you're walking around out there.
Exactly. So it's good for a little short bursts, but it's used in, decent scenarios. I think the packets though themselves, the running packets, I think they work really well. I don't think they would be used in hockey or anything though.
Where did you like find these? Did you, like
running
from
stores.
Playing or just?
So I mean, I found them. I watched soccer and saw them eating them,
okay.
and I was like, "What the heck?"
If it's good enough for them, it's got to be good enough for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I thought about it, and I was like, "Wait a second. 5 before 45. So 45 minutes. That's a full half of soccer.
Right.
You're running around the whole time. So if you're playing, why would you not take that? And then you take another one at the second half.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense if you have more energy. If it saves muscles, gives you more hydration.
Yeah.
Why not? So and then I found them at the running store in Arlington Heights. So just went in the corner block. I went to go get shoes.
There's a store dedicated to running.
Yeah, all shoes. It's all.
Where is
running
this
shoes.
at?
So the parking garage in Arlington Heights.
Yeah.
So like when you're coming from the Rolling Meadows side, it's like that corner shop. Yeah.
Oh,
right
no
before
kidding,
right before like Ale House.
I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, it's a running shop. So you go in there, they just got a bunch of running shoes and like the satchels for running and the backpacks and like the water.
Oh, like, yeah, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and then I saw they're called Goos, and I saw them and I was like
Goos?
Yeah,
Goos?
It's GU.
GUS.
Yeah, just GU. And then the S is like multiple goo.
Okay. The plural.
Yeah. So I was like, do these actually work? And they're like, yeah, these work. Like every marathon runner should have these, and they should 100% take them when running a marathon, or else they're gonna get cramps, they're gonna fall apart, and they might not finish. And I was like, does it work for soccer? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, interesting. And then like 2 weeks later, I was watching a game and I saw them with the packets, and I'm like, really? I was like, so they do use them in soccer games.
Yeah.
And so I tried them out. I love them. They're worth it. So. Yeah,
well, if I ever pick up running, I'll have to pick some of those up.
It's the better version of like a pre-workout in my opinion, because you're not like jittering the whole time,
right?
While you're running.
Yeah.
It's more of a steady, and it has like 20 milligrams of caffeine, which is nice. So yeah. Well, do you have any pre-game rituals that you usually do for hockey?
Not really.
Not really.
No,
I know some guys are religious about it.
I mean, the only thing really is like, I'd put like my like right shin guard and like right skate on first, really. But I mean, other than that, I just kind of try to keep it loose and.
Yeah, some people are really superstitious.
Yeah, I mean, I've come to find that like the more I think about stuff, the more I tend to like overthink it.
Yeah.
So you're kind of playing a little apprehensive. So you just kind of, I know what I'm there to do. So I'm just, keep it loose.
Yeah, I like that. I don't really have anything like that either. I do put my left shoe on first, though.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I'm not, like, really super big into it, but I definitely, like...
It's just more comfortable.
Little things like that, yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's just, like, it's easier to put my left on first for some reason. So that's why I do it. And if I put my right on first, it just feels weird. But I wouldn't take my right shoe off and put my left on.
Right.
But I have seen some people where they're very superstitious about what they do in the locker room. Like they're like, I have to do this first, this second, this third, this fourth. And
like the same
every
like
time
I
the same
played
routine.
with a kid in college who like had his, because like we had like the everything's like timed.
Okay. Like warm-ups are timed, stuff like that, or
dude, like so when I was playing, I played NCAA for a couple of years before I played club.
Where'd you
like,
play? You played
I played D3 at a place called Franklin Pierce University in
Okay,
New Hampshire, and then I played club at Robert Morris, Illinois.
Yep.
But with like the NCAA stuff, it's like everything is so like, you know, there's 60 minutes on the game clock, so then it like, you know, 48 minutes something happens, this happens. By like 35 minutes the officials are out on the ice, 31 minutes the away, like everything is like timed.
Yeah.
And I would play, I played with a kid who had like everything he did before the game, he did it at the exact same time every pregame. Like it was like it was in like the nuttiest thing I'd ever seen. Like he'd have the same, like he'd be watching the clock and would like time stuff to like the stuff he was doing until like we were going out.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, that is just like, at what point do you stop thinking about the game and you're just more worried about doing that?
Yeah, right.
You know, like
that's crazy. What if he plans to think about the game though within that?
Well, and that's
that could be a thing
right.
too,
Well, and like obviously, you know, everybody's like, you know, got whatever gets them going, right? But like for me, I'd be like too worried about you know,
what am I doing next? I forgot.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
What's my next step? I forgot.
Exactly.
And you're just like, let's play.
I'm just here to play.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah. Was he a good player?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was gonna say, I feel like it's either they're the best player on the entire ice, or
just,
they're
goofy.
They're absolutely just not good.
Dog water.
Yeah, like they're out there and it's like, dude, you spent all that time doing the pre-ritual and you literally just missed an easy dump in the puck or something.
First two shifts. Like.
Yeah, like real bad. But that's fun. What's the stat they track the most for like college hockey for you guys? Is it on ice goal differential, or you think it's
I mean, we just do like normal just like the normal like stats, like goals, assists, points, power play points, stuff like that usually.
Yeah. Did they do any like broadcasts for you guys in D3?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm not really
like local or something.
I'm not really sure, honestly. We weren't very good, so unfortunately.
So when you're playing the best team, maybe. If not, then probably not.
Well, so we were like listed as a D2 school technically.
Okay.
But we played like all like the like best D3 teams in the country, because like in the East Coast at least. So like we'd show up and play like a Geneseo and get beat like 9-2 or something like that. Like,
jeez.
Yeah, real tough sledding for a bit out there. But
I was gonna say, those games, as brutal as they sound, when it's that bad, or do you still it's still competitive?
Yeah, I mean, you try to be as competitive as you can. Like that's like the one thing that's like kind of tough about D3, and I don't know how it is about D1. But it's like if you're not on like a top 10 team anywhere, it's kind of not that great.
Yeah, you're sitting there kind of knocking around, and you're just like,
yeah,
all right, we're playing one of the best teams. This is
obviously you're
trying
trying to go out there and like, you know, play hard and like and everything like that. But there's some of the schools just, you know, have better players.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, what teams did you also play? You played on like an Atlanta team, right?
I did. Yeah, I played for the Atlanta Junior Knights down in.
What division is that?
That was in the EJ South.
So what's the rankings of these divisions? Because there's a lot of hockey everywhere.
So there's like tier 3, which
because it goes NHL and then AHL.
Oh yeah, so it'd be
from the top.
Like from the top, it'd be NHL, AHL, the East Coast League, and then I mean, depending who you're talking to, there's like the Southern Pro League and the Fed, which are kind of like considered pro, but it's
like semi-pro, basically.
Semi-pro, basically, yeah. And then like before that, it's just like your college and your juniors teams, pretty much.
Do you think that some high school teams could rip on some of these college teams?
I wouldn't say college teams.
Okay.
I mean, Minnesota high school hockey is like unbelievable.
Yeah, that is another topic I want to talk about too.
Unbelievable.
They are insane.
I mean, a lot of guys go D1. There's been, a bunch of guys in the NHL now that played Minnesota high school hockey growing up. Like,
have you seen the flow?
Yeah,
games thing?
Yeah. That guy,
every championship.
Dude, that guy's videos funny. They're funny. I don't think he's doing them anymore though.
Which one?
The like the all flow team or what? The
Oh,
all
the
hair
all
team?
flow team?
The all
Yeah.
hair team.
Because
That
they used
was,
to
like,
do the
the best.
walkouts, like they'd call their name and then like they'd
I
skate
they
up.
still
and then,
do that, I think.
but
But,
the guy-
there was a guy who used to like take all of like the intros and would like pick like the top 10 or 11 from the tournament that year, and it'd be like the all hair team, and like the videos were like amazing.
The
like, there was
best.
some crazy hair.
Yeah,
on some of
because
those
it's like
guys.
super long and then completely shaved on the sides.
Some of them got
or,
the
like-
mullet going on.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, I don't know what the whole like dyeing their hair like bleach blonde and stuff like
yeah,
that.
I think that's
I
just like state competition, high school.
never
thing.
really got into doing that stuff.
I did it once for nationals.
Did you?
For soccer?
Nice.
Yeah, we went to nationals and we
Did
dyed
it
our
help?
hair. It was like orange. My hair was like orange.
Did it help at all?
I mean, it didn't change much,
You guys
but
just kind of look goofy out
it was
there.
just fun.
Yeah.
it was
No,
it was
it's
just for
yeah,
fun.
no,
Yeah,
that's-
it
that's
was
fair.
definitely not great.
Yeah. Then you have to like buzz it afterwards and everying. So
I just
grows
let it
out.
grow out the frosted tips and just was like whatever,
there you
and then
go.
I'll eventually cut
Bringing
it.
the 90s back.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I remember the flow they'd just glide up there and they would just like throw their hair back and stuff, and
Yeah.
they would call out people's like moms and
Their
like
mom and
girls
stuff,
and
yeah.
stuff and the boys and oh dude, high school in Minnesota is probably got to be nuts for hockey.
So a kid I played with here like was from Minnesota, and he like played a couple years for his high school up there, and he said it was like it's insane.
It's like their life. Like that's life. It's like for
It's
us, it's like
insane up
Chicago
there.
sports. For them, it's Minnesota high school hockey.
Dude, they sell out the XL Arena every year,
Yeah.
or the
For,
Exxon
for a high school
for a high school tournament.
championship. Yeah.
Like
crazy.
that's crazy, dude. That's insane. That's like 18,000 people.
For a high school hockey game.
I couldn't tie my shoe in front of that many people.
Like you said, yeah.
You know, like
I feel like it'd be good though to put the stress on the kids at that level because those kids are good.
I mean, a lot of them. I mean, I don't know about a lot of them, but I mean, a decent amount of them do go and play at like a higher level. I don't know if any of them,
Whether it's NHL,
like,
AHL, or
unless
whatever.
they make the NHL. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are playing in front of crowds like that big.
Yeah.
Usually,
Even if you could, depending on the night you go to United Center in the past couple of years, it might be less than that, which is crazy to think about.
dude, the UC has had some dismal days. I was there a couple Sundays ago when they played the Penguins, and we were in the 300 section, and like we were almost like ready. Like there was one section in the 100 levels that was completely wide open,
Wow.
and we almost like made our way down there, but it was kind of like there you have to have the ticket
Yeah, you gotta have the
for
ticket.
that
And they check
section,
the
and they
ticket.
check them down there. So
I never understood that though. I never
Well, they gotta
never
make their
understood
money.
that. I get that, but
and
like
it's like insane how much like we bought $30 300 level
Yeah.
tickets, and we had $30 service fees.
right, but I think that they should do a tracking system where like on your thing, on your ticket, where if you enter the stadium, you scan your ticket to go in, right?
Yeah.
So then like your seat would light up in their system and be like, yes, this person's here, you know, whatever. But if you never scanned in and say it's like after like halfway through the first period or like say it's through the first period,
Yeah.
they could in the system basically be like, okay, green light. If you want to come down and sit in the first section, you're good to do that. So then you can pack the first section
Yeah,
and make it
I
more
mean,
of like a nice hockey environment.
I mean, I think if it's like an open seat, it should like.
And that's the thing. It's like that the scanning would tell you if it's open seat, and then you just walk up to the person and be like, "Hey, we're in the 300 section. What seats are open? Can we sit down here?" And then they would scan your ticket and be like, "Yeah, we can put you here. Go
Yeah,
sit
right,
on this
right,
row
yeah.
at this seat." Like they haven't showed up yet, but just let you know if they do show up, you have to get kicked out. And it's like, I mean, you could pack it in there and it would look a lot more fun.
More
First of all,
full, yeah.
it would look more full, and it would be a little bit louder
Well, and
for the players.
That's what they. I went to a Wolves like playoff game a couple years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they had the entire like top section was like blocked off, so they could like pack the bottom bowl,
I like that.
like make it seem like there's more people there.
It's more fun that way too, because like
yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, the Wolves, they're pretty like their games are pretty electric too.
yeah,
So
it is. I would say if you want to ever introduce someone to hockey,
best intro
Wolves
show
game is
in the
perfect.
league. Like,
yeah, and like the halftime shows in between the
with the kids
periods.
skating and stuff.
Yeah, and they also do some crazy things. Because it's like in the Blackhawks, they do like the puck shot, stuff like that. Like they do fun things, but I feel like the Wolves ones, they go over the
Well,
top.
they do relay races now at the Hawks game.
Really?
Yeah, with like with a team on the ice.
That's cool.
And they'll have them do like relays and like
That's
jumping
pretty cool.
over stuff like that.
Because like for the Wolves game, they're there to watch hockey, yeah, but it's like a family experience, you know,
Right.
like they want you to
Fun
come
for
have
the
fun.
whole family.
Right, exactly. That's like probably their advertisement.
That's literally on the billboard. Yeah.
On the billboard?
Fun for the whole family or whatever it was. Yeah.
Right, but you want to have all that entertainment, so you're gonna do the crazy things.
Right.
Remember, they probably have like people doing acrobats, and they probably
And they
got
like
swinging people.
I mean, they've been like good for like a really long time.
Yeah, I don't remember a season where they've been like, this is the worst Wolves team we've ever had.
And now they're like good still, and the Hawks are not.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, there's like a lot of people going to Wolves games now.
It's still weird to me that Rockford feeds into Blackhawks, but the Wolves don't.
Yeah, the Wolves I think are still independent.
That's
They've been like
interesting.
bouncing between so many teams. It seemed like they were with St. Louis for a bit, and then they were with Carolina, and then they weren't with Carolina, and then I think they went back with Carolina. Like,
I don't know why they wouldn't just tag team with also the Rockford Ice Hogs.
well, so I think they can get loaned out to like other NHL teams from there. I think.
Okay, so like the players are still eligible to,
I think so.
yeah, but they're just independent, meaning that if they get called up, it could be to any team.
I think that's how it works. I'm not
That's kinda
like
crazy.
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I'm not sure if they're like affiliated with an NHL team right now.
That'd be almost more enticing. Would be to go play for the Wolves because you could go to any NHL team.
Yeah, right. Like anyone can call you up.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, maybe that's why.
If
they're
that's
good.
how it works, if I think that's how it works, but I'm not like 100%
Yeah.
sure. But like,
It would be interesting to see if that was the case, because then I would see why the Wolves are good, is because every player would want to play there because they can get called up to any team.
right? Yeah,
Because you can ball out and be like, the Penguins need you.
your-
Okay, let's go. Like,
exactly.
you're not like playing underneath a 2013 Blackhawks team where you're never getting called
Never
up.
going anywhere.
You're sitting there, you're like, yeah, I'm probably good enough to play on a third string NHL team, but the team that I'm playing underneath is just the best team in the NHL by
Right.
far. Franchise, like within 20 years, probably the best team. So, what do you think the best NHL team was in history? Do you think it was the
Like in
2013?
history,
Because I mean, you had that
I
Penguins
don't know.
team
I mean,
that was
the
nasty.
Penguins team was nasty. I mean,
That Boston Bruins team
the
was also
team,
pretty good.
I mean, probably that Oilers team with Gretzky that won those 4 cups, or the Islanders that won those 4 cups in a row in like the
Who was on the
80s.
Islanders team?
Mike Bossy. It's like all I could tell you, honestly.
Yeah.
It was so long ago.
But they were just ballers.
Yeah, they won
is
4
that
in a row.
4 in a row. Is that the most anyone's won in a row?
I think it might be.
Yeah. I think that's like in sports, one of the craziest things is that you win 4 in a row.
Yeah.
So I don't know if no one in soccer has done it.
Yeah.
I know that because it's always 3 in a row, and then usually some team knocks them off.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, I know we had 3 in a row, 2 3-peats, but then you had like the Wilt days. I don't think that there was anyone that did 4 in a row though.
Well, how many? Michael didn't get his all 6 in a row. Did
No,
he?
it was 3, and then he
3,
went to
and then-
baseball,
oh,
and then
he
3
came back.
again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough winning. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, it's tough winning 1,
Yeah.
let alone 2. You know,
And they won 4 in a row.
4 in a row. Like,
Imagine them on the 4th one. They're like, "All right, guys, you ready to do this again?" Yeah, sure.
like, I
let's
mean, it
get
has
another
to be
one.
just as fun as the first 3 times, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I feel like the parties might have like dimmed down after the second one, maybe, or third
Dimmed
one.
down or gotten better because you
Either
figured
one.
out.
Yeah.
You figured it out.
I mean, after the 4th one, I feel like they probably were like going absolutely bananas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I would be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you think about Ovi going to 1K goals? Do you think it's gonna happen?
1,000. I don't know about 1,000.
You don't think it's gonna happen? I feel like he's got it in him.
I mean, he's what, 38?
Yeah.
He's old.
2-3 more years.
I mean, let's start with 1 for sure. I mean, he'll probably
Because he's at how many goals? 800.
896, I think.
896. So he
Yeah.
needs
He's got the record.
104 goals.
Yeah, I mean,
3 years. That's
and
a big
dude,
season.
that's the thing is like we're sitting here speculating like no one expected him to score 41 this year.
Yeah.
After he broke his leg,
I know.
you know, like
41.
that's like so. I mean, it really depends on like what kind of shape his body's in,
Yeah.
and if he continues to stay, you know,
As healthy as he is.
Because like that's like what really, that's why he was able to get, you know, like obviously outside of him being just like a prolific goal scorer, like
Yeah.
if you're not healthy,
you're not going to be performing at all.
Doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at Austin Matthews. Like, if, I'm sure people, like, as, everything's going on, they're like, oh, we're never going to see it again. There's some guys that, we could maybe have a chance, but it's like.
Yeah, I saw that there was someone that's
healthy.
on track as well. Who was that? Do you remember the name?
No, I don't. I know I forget who. Someone just got their 400th.
Yeah. And then he's over double that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, and it's like, if you want to do it, you have to have like the next, however many years of at least 50 goals
a season,
playing at least 75 of the games.
Yeah.
Out of 82, right? Like,
staying healthy and then performing. I mean, it's crazy that he
is.
almost already has 900 goals.
It's insane.
But I feel like he could do it. I don't know why, but I just feel I think
so?
he can do it. If anyone was to be the guy, it would be him.
We'll clip this then, and we'll say if he hits 1,000, we'll go back to when
we called it here.
When you called it. You called
right
it.
Here.
I didn't call it. Not me.
Ovechkin's gonna get 1,000 goals by the end of his NHL career.
There you go.
Clip it.
There you go.
Clip it.
I like it.
I just don't see why he wouldn't want to do that, because
so I know
he's having so much fun though.
He's made it like it's a pretty well known thing that he wants to go back and, like, I think play his last year with like that Dynamo Moscow team or whatever, the team he played for, growing up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He joked in like 2018, I think, that he was like, oh, as soon as after I get it, like, I'm done. But then it's like, they're kind of could make a run here in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Depending, I don't know. Montreal's running kind of hot right now, and Capitals are running kind of cold, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's like that. I know that is for sure the one thing he wants to do is like go back.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't think he wants to go back if he's not going to be able to play, like, put on a show for those people, so I think like
it's like Messi going to Miami.
I think
he's
we'll
still
get like
athletic.
one more year out of him for sure
in the NHL,
and then after that I think it might be because you got to figure
call.
Like no one's going to be close to catching him right now.
Yeah,
no
one.
Like
within the next 10 years.
I mean, the closest guy to him is Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah,
he's been retired.
He's not coming back.
He's like what 3 goals.
I wonder what do you think the next closest person is that's active? Like 400, right? 450.
I think
you can grab your phone.
Yeah, there's somebody's got to be.
And there was I forget who the guy that was on track as well, but there's got to be people in the 400, 500 range that are active still. I guess it depends on how young they are, but that's like 50 goal seasons consistently. That's if you want to put in, that's 100 goal seasons for 9 seasons in a row.
So none of the closest guy who would be like even like considered would either be Matthews or Draisaitl.
Okay.
And Matthews is sitting at 401 and Draisaitl's sitting at 399, it looks like.
And how they're
younger, yeah.
But, okay.
But like, I mean, the next closest to Ovechkin is Crosby right now with 625.
625.
Yeah.
And like Crosby's already getting up there.
Right, yeah.
In age, that is.
Right, no, yeah. Like, so it's like.
Oh, man.
Dude, but I mean, legend. They were saying we may never see it after Gretzky did it.
Yeah.
After Howe did it.
Yeah.
And now after Ovechkin did it, people are saying it. But like,
if it gets to 1,000 though, like that is,
I mean,
undisputed.
That would be insane.
Would you consider him the greatest of all time?
Greatest goal scorer in any sport ever of all time.
Yeah. Almost. I don't know because we got Ronaldo too though.
Any sport of all time.
If he hits 1,000.
Any sport of all time. Yeah.
What if Ronaldo hits 1,000?
I mean,
it's those two at the top, basically.
Close?
He's close. He look his up. His is like a 900 something.
What is Messi at?
Messi's a lot lower. He has a lot more assists.
He's a playmaker though.
Yeah,
right?
He's a lot more of a playmaker. He's still up there though. But see, the thing about Messi though is he has the highest goals in a season ever. Yeah,
wasn't it like 70 something?
Nope.
84 or
93.
81? 93. I remember watching. So Ronaldo's at 933.
Yeah, so he's close. But he's almost at the end of his career, but he's still
like
performing.
what, 40 years old, right?
Yeah, he's like old. 39. He's getting there. But he's probably going to play in the next World Cup, is my guess. He's going to want to play in the next World Cup.
I mean, he's also like made So he's got 933 career goals in 1,250 professional appearances.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's really good.
So we'll see if he can.
I mean, I'd still think Ovi would be. I mean, have you seen that video of Ovi playing soccer in Russia? He scored a couple goals there. Like I said, greatest goal scorer of any sport.
That's
ever.
what I'm saying. He's the guy.
Ever.
My favorite goal of Ovechkin. This is when I fell in love with hockey.
The back.
The back.
Yeah.
Like he's going over the back of his head. He's. I mean, you show anyone that, and they're just like.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
And that was like so early on too.
That was like what, third year of his career?
First, I think it was his first or second. I thought.
Okay, even that. Yeah, I mean, he was, dude, unreal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll ever see anything like him and Crosby ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, Crosby hit 20 seasons straight a point per game or more.
Wow.
This year, like
that's like the Russell Westbrook stats.
Yeah.
Of his triple-double season.
Yeah, dude, it's like
averaging a triple-double in every single game.
I mean, and those two have like been carrying, like became the face of the NHL like at the same time, right? Like you had the young kid and then you had Ovi, right? And like Ovi broke the scoring record. Crosby's got 20 years straight of a point per game, which is like
bananas.
That's the thing I was talking about is like the consistency. And like, granted, we lost Crosby to like almost 2 years of concussions, so like obviously his health has been kind of iffy, but like shaky, who's to know where he'd be in the all-time standings if he didn't lose those 2 years. Not saying he'd be outscoring Ovi.
Not saying he's scoring 50 a season.
He'd probably be like
but
maybe
even 30, 35 a season would be extra 70 goals.
Top 5, top 3 in points.
Yeah, he could be close to 700 if he had those 2 seasons maybe. So, which would put him in somewhat in the racing. He still has 200 something plus goals, which is nuts.
Right. So it's like now it's like kind of like who's after those guys are retired, like who's I mean, obviously we got
who's gonna be the next
McDavid,
face of the NHL.
We got McDavid and McKinnon and those guys, but like
and Bedard's not there. He's not
as much as they like tried to. I think
I think he's the face of the Blackhawks, but I don't think he's gonna be the face of the NHL until he does.
Yeah, well, and then it's like you got, I mean, that Macklin Celebrini kid's playing well out in San Jose. You got Will Smith out there, that Adam Fantilli. Like, there's a lot of really good talent.
Yeah, really good talent. So, yeah, I'm excited. Who's the best goaltenders in the league right now, do you think?
Probably Hellebuck or Ottinger, I'm thinking. Two American guys.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Hellebuck's got to prove it in the playoffs. He hasn't really had a playoff series where he's
like gone crazy.
Sealed the deal, yeah.
Yeah. I was always 50-50 on Crawford when we were growing up. But then he just kept performing and kept saving everything. He kind of
stunk sometimes.
Yeah, he did. And I was just like, bro, like you should make these simple saves.
Yeah.
But then he would make the most outlandish, crazy saves. And I'd be like, all right, just shut me up.
Right,
like,
exactly.
So who's your favorite franchise goaltender, do you think?
Like for the Hawks?
For anyone and the Hawks. Let's do both.
I mean, you can't. I mean, Marc-Andre Fleury's just
I was going to say
unreal.
Fleury too.
I mean, probably like for the Hawks would probably be Crawford, yeah.
Yeah. His energy was just hilarious.
I mean, we had like when they won the 1 year, Anthony Niemi. Like 500.
Yeah.
And I can't really think of like any other
like top goaltenders for the Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that were like outstanding.
At least like that played when I was like watching.
Yeah.
Like we had Ed Belfour and Dominic Hasek at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd go, dude, Marc-Andre Fleury is just the best.
It's hard to hate that guy.
Yeah.
It's hard to not like him.
The only reason you don't like him is when you're playing against him is really what it comes down to. Because you would see some insane saves and you'd be just like, dude, let one fly, man.
Just one of them, right?
And they would just lose, and it's just like you'd see the stats at the end of it's like 45 saves from Fleury, and you're like, come on,
45
dude.
saves on 47 shots.
Yeah.
You lose 3-0.
Yeah, so
or 3-2.
3-2, whatever it may be. And you see our goalies, and it's like 28 saves on 33 shots, and you're like, all right, come on.
Right. Well, and a lot of that stems from like just the miserable defense they play sometimes.
Yeah, they did play defense. How did they get so good at being in the power play and scoring goals when they're man down? How did the Blackhawks even do that?
Oh, on the
Like,
PK.
Yeah, like thinking back on that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They had some dogs out there, man. Like Marcus Kruger, Foligno, or not Foligno, Frolik.
Yeah,
They had like
Frolik was-
Dave Bolin, Adam Burrish.
Bolin was
like,
crazy with just checking.
They had some
everybody.
dogs out there, man.
Because I like think about it now, and every single time I see a power play, I'm always like, the team with the power play is going to score, and then the Blackhawks.
You should, yeah.
And then the Blackhawks, it's like they had a penalty, and I literally in the playoffs when I was watching as a kid, I was like, all right, perfect, we're gonna score.
They
Score.
actually scored a shorthanded goal when I was there a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Something in the water in Chicago, but
Well, it's like, I mean, there's like, so like obviously like the power play team's like trying to score, right? They're a man up, so like they're taking chances.
yeah,
Right. So if like you can catch them taking a chance and like you got to step on them, like
you
take
go.
it.
Yeah,
Just go.
because I just remember we were in the playoffs watching my dad, and then we had the penalty, like I said, and I was just like, all right, we're gonna score now.
Yeah.
And then like a minute in, we would score,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and like I'm pretty sure like the Hawks just showed up at the rink with momentum
Yeah.
every game that year. So
Yeah. That was what a crazy run.
Right.
Crazy
And
run.
now we're sitting here in the doldrums.
Yeah, we're
in
sitting
the
here
basement.
like, you want to go to a Hawks game? It's $10, and you're like, I don't know.
It's gonna be more of a pain in the ass to get downtown than it would to be just like to even go.
Yeah, to go to the game and watch. Yeah, I mean, so one thing that's like Chicago Fire is doing that I want them to do this, which is like the advertisement for a lot of these games are, the team's good. Let's go watch a good team. Let's go watch them compete. But like, for instance, like the Wolves, it's the entertainment aspect. It's like the fun aspect, but also a little bit of sport and hockey. What I wanted the Chicago Fire to do was like do like a $3 or $4 beer night and just like have the tickets be relatively cheap for every seat, like $25-$30 a ticket for a seat.
Are those expensive tickets usually?
Not really. They're not that expensive. You can get tickets easily for $20-$25 easily. The lower sections, it's usually like 50 to 100, 150.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Like, it's not bad at all. But the concessions are still expensive.
Yeah,
because they're sold by the Soldier Field Stadium itself. So what I was thinking was, okay, you should do like a $25 ticket day and then $4 beers. And you'd get hundreds of fans. You get thousands of fans to show up just because you just advertise that. $4 beers, 25 tickets, $29 for beer and a game.
Right.
And like that's literally cheaper than going to like Chick-fil-A nowadays.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And they don't advertise like that, and it's so expensive, and I feel like you'd fill up the stadium.
I feel like I never see any advertisement for Fire games.
There's some billboards when you drive downtown.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a couple.
Because they don't play at Soldiers Field, right?
They do.
I thought they played at that other arena.
This
that
is
other
their
stadium they have. Was it SeatGeek or whatever?
SeatGeek, yeah, they used to play there. So
That's kind of a
they've
cool
actually
place.
done a lot of positive things in the past like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
They have. So one of the craziest stories about them is the Bastian Schweinsteiger walking to training story, which I'll say in a sec. But they went from SeatGeek to Soldier Field. They rent out Soldier Field now, and they kind of didn't really have a great season. And then they had Shaqiri there, and then they had a good season, and then they like lost and had one of the worst seasons ever last year. And then this year they almost already have more wins and points than they did last year in the first like 5, 6, 7 games.
Nice. Okay.
So they only won like 3 games last year, and I think we already have 2 wins.
How long
and
is
a draw.
that season?
It's pretty long. It's around I think 20 something games, 28 games maybe.
Okay.
30 games, but it's throughout like 6 to 8 months. So it's pretty
Spread
long
out.
season. Yeah, it's spread out. It starts at like it started like about a month, 2 months ago, and then it goes until about, winter time.
So do they don't do like the because I know like the Premier League and like all that, like they do like the Europa Cup and like they have like the tournaments during the season.
Yeah,
right?
we do.
Do they do that here? Or like,
Yeah, it's not as good.
set up different.
There's no Champions League.
Right.
And Champions League is like all of the surrounding countries, which would be fun. but I think we do it, but it's like very small.
Mhm.
It's like couple teams in Canada, but the teams in Canada are in the MLS anyways, so
Right,
it's
yeah.
stupid. But they have an MLS Cup, and they have like a Conference Cup or something like that.
Yeah.
So they do have those interseasonal ones, but they're not like anything where everyone's like, oh, I need to go.
It's
see
not
a
like
game.
the Champions Cup or
Yeah,
like
so for Champions League, when you go see when you play on Tuesday, Wednesday night, that's like the peak. Like you want to play on Tuesday, Wednesday.
right.
And then Thursday is Europa League, which is the league below Champions League,
Mm-hmm.
which is also considered a major title in Europe. So you want to play Tuesday, Wednesday first. If not, you want to play Thursday. And that doesn't really like resonate with the US because on Tuesday and Wednesday, like even if we do play, it's not like who cares?
It's
Like,
way
it's
different,
not-
like
way different.
over here than it is over there because like people
Right.
like go to support their town.
Yeah, that's their like, dude. The whole stadiums are packed on Tuesdays and
Right.
Wednesdays, and sometimes they'll be like 70% full on Saturdays and Sundays for their official games. But the overall, they should do better, and they are currently doing better. They got a new coach, they got new players, they got a lot of things going for them. But the craziest thing is the Bastian Schweinsteiger walking to training story. So they have the SeatGeek Stadium, and they have like a bubble and they have like a locker room changing. So they would change in the locker rooms and then they would have to walk to their training facility, their grass fields. And so they got there, they would walk out of the training facility and then they would walk and they would continue to walk and they continue to walk. And then Bastian was like, are we almost there? Like, we've been walking for like 3-4 minutes.
It's that far.
Like, are we almost there? And they're like, oh yeah, it's like over there. We got to walk a little bit more. And you like walk 10 minutes just to get to the training field from the
SeatGeek?
locker room.
That's crazy.
They have to like walk through the whole parking lot.
Because they don't want to use like the games like stadium, right? Like the
right.
grass
So
and stuff.
like they would walk so far, and he was just like, "This is ridiculous.
I'm not doing this.
Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to
But
walk."
I feel like leaving like the Bundesliga and like or like any of like the European leagues and
Yeah.
coming to play in the MLS is like from the NHL to like the AHL.
Yeah.
Where you're like
or
on,
even
on the bus eating soggy subs.
or even more maybe. I don't know.
You know, like
Yeah, but the good thing is that they're now in Soldier Field, which is really good. The way that they're set up there is really nice. The fans love it. It's more city people, city folk, and you have the Hispanic crowd that's going to pull up, the Polish crowd that's going to pull up, and you're going to get a lot more of that in the city, which is good. And second, that training field that they used to play on, they don't play there anymore. They just opened up a new facility, and it is literally 10 feet away from their field.
that's how it should be. Yeah.
They go from their locker room, they leave the door, they walk through another door, and they're on the field.
That's how it should be. Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be training and walking 10 minutes. So they've come a long way in terms of Chicago sports. But I was like, dude, like,
what a baby though. 10-minute walk. Like, just use that as like your warm up.
But it was on stone. It was
That's
on gravel.
that's your dynamic warm up.
But it was on gravel,
Get the
though.
legs warmed up.
It wasn't on grass. It was on gravel.
Can you not walk on gravel?
I mean, you're walking on gravel with cleats on. It's like walking on tile with.
I mean,
with your ice skates.
I understand where like his complaints coming from, but
Right.
like, I mean, they got slides, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they
have
do, right?
shoes you can wear.
But that's the whole thing is they put their stuff on in the locker room and put their slides away, and then they have to walk another 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
They should have just got the guy a Segway or something.
I know, or like just pick them up in a golf cart. Everybody else walk.
Yeah,
To the franchise player, pick
Exactly.
them up. Everyone else, you gotta walk.
exactly.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, but yeah,
Hopefully any team in Chicago can like play good.
I know. What do you think the next team in Chicago that's going to be good is? I mean, the Cubs might.
I mean, the
low
Cubs
key,
are decent right now. But
I want to go to a Cubs game just because they've been hitting it out of the park.
I mean,
like
it'd
crazy.
It'd be cool to see like. I mean, it'd be cool to see all of them doing well.
Yeah,
You know.
I feel like we do the best when one team is doing well, and that's pretty much happened over the past like 20 years.
Yeah.
It was the Sox to start in early 2000. Then it went from the Sox to, I believe, the Bears.
The Bears were kind of they made the Super
was that,
Bowl. I think when I was
09?
in like 8th grade.
Yeah, it was at 09.
Devin Hester ran it back for a touchdown.
Was that 09 or 08? I think it was 2008.
Trying to think.
I
Yeah,
think so, like-
08. No, I was in 8th grade. I know that. And I graduated high school in 2011.
So it would have been like 07 maybe.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. So we had the Sox into the Bears being good, which was fun for me. I love that. That was a good. Everyone was like hyped about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're always bad.
Terrible.
They're still bad today.
Terrible.
Caleb Williams got it though. And then we went into Blackhawks, which was like the 2013 era.
I mean, I'd even say they were good like
In
a couple
2010.
years before that.
Yeah.
Like 08, 09.
When did they win the Cups? It was
10,
10, 11.
13,
10, 13.
and 16.
They only won 3?
Yeah.
I thought it was 4 for some reason. So and they won in 2016 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the
And then-
last one, yeah.
And then the Cubs in 2016 as well. Back to back with the
Dude,
with the
that
Blackhawks.
year was a crazy year in Chicago.
That was like the Chicago year. And that was my freshman year away from Chicago.
Oh, and you were at Iowa, right?
Yeah. So I was at Iowa State and I was just like, oh
So
my God.
I had just transferred back home.
Oh
to go-
my
so
God.
I was going to school downtown, and like a bunch of the guys lived down there, so we were chopping it up down there.
Oh yeah. I mean there's parades after parades, which is
Dude, it was so much fun.
I mean the Cubs one was the largest, like one of the largest gatherings on Earth.
I mean,
Did you know that?
it. Yeah.
It was like the 10th largest gathering on Earth.
Was it like 195 million years since they had won the World Series?
It was
prior.
it's
It was
been
like
a long
it was
time.
literally like 109 years. I
I think it was
More.
109 years, and the story behind it was that there's 109 stitches on a baseball.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
the curse of the Billy Goat.
But that was the
Right?
curse, was that there's 109 stitches on the ball, and it's been 109 years since the Cubs have won the championship. And then it was like, I forget what the other like big things were, but there was a ton of them that all concluded to be like, this is the year that the Cubs are gonna win. And then that rain delay, like, put them all in the locker room. They're like, we got this. We got like
I can't. That rain delay was so because they
It
were
felt
gonna
so
lose.
long.
They were behind.
They were
weren't
behind like a run or two.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, like we have to come back. We have to do this. Like we got this. Just get your hits, get your scoring runs in. And I remember they did like a sack out for one of them to put him in scoring position. And
Yeah.
they sent him home and they were like going absolutely bananas. And then of course the defensive play from Bryant to on third base. Yeah.
That was a nice play.
Little ground out, and he was just smiling the whole time when he was throwing the ball. I was like, bro, like don't mess this up.
Easy. You do it every day at practice, right?
You do it every day. I mean, it's a routine ground ball, and he like had it in his hand. The guy was barely even halfway when he threw the ball. So,
Dude, if I'm that guy hitting that, like I'm sprinting to first.
Oh yeah, I'm pulling.
I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to get him to mess up.
Yeah,
mess that up. Just start running the hardest you've ever run.
Yeah, and then they won it. Oh man, that was crazy because that was 2016 October. So that was like a couple months after the Blackhawks had won.
Yeah.
So that was back to back. That'd been a crazy summer. 2016. That makes so much more sense why I remember 2016 as being one of the craziest, most fun years.
Dude, that was a good year.
Yeah, and then after that, what have we really had that's kind of popped off? It's time. We're due.
I mean, I guess if you're a Bears fan, like all the draft picks they've blown up. But.
Yeah, they've like. The biggest event for that has been the draft pick itself.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't even been the after effect of that.
They need to stop taking they need an offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's what they need.
They
I think that was
quarterbacks.
one of their last picks from this.
You can put as many quarterbacks back there and the best quarterback back there as you want.
Yeah, I think they just picked up some guys this year, like this past couple 6 months.
I don't really pay attention much to the
Yeah.
Bears just because.
Yeah, they're not anything fun until they are.
Miserable to watch.
Yeah. I think they're gonna do something this year. I don't know though. It's always a coin toss.
Yeah, you never
because
know.
even the one where they were gonna win the game with the field goal and they hit the post and it went out, like
typical Bears fashion.
Yeah, that was really bad. But I got faith in Caleb Williams. He busted every single rookie record there is.
Yeah.
So give him an offensive line. Give him like another star receiver to throw to. A lot of the players in the NFL are moving around. I think you could put yourself together a solid team.
Well, that's even if have they figured out where they're playing? Are they doing that Arlington Heights stuff anymore?
I was gonna ask, yeah. Do you think they should?
I mean, I don't know.
I have another
If
theory.
if they don't like being downtown that much.
They just don't like paying. They don't own the stadium. You don't own the stadium.
Well,
You don't own the
rent it,
rights.
yeah, right,
You pay rent.
yeah. Well, and I mean, if what they're doing with like that area, like they plan on actually doing, like it'll be kind of cool. Because I mean,
And they'll own all the real estate.
downtown Arlington's like already kind of a cool area.
And you're just gonna put more people in a cooler area. I think it's great.
Well, exactly, and like it's like so close to like where I grew up and like my parents' house. It's like you can make money selling street parking.
Yeah,
You know?
you could do anything with that area. Also, though, I think one of the coolest things that like growing up in this area would be like, oh, like you want to go DTA, you want to go Palatine, or oh, let's go to Bearstown. I think it should be called Bearstown.
Bearstown.
I think that'd be sick. Yo, let's go to Bearstown like on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it just has a good ring to
No,
it.
I do. I agree.
Trademarking that
kind of like
market.
kind of like a kind of like Wrigleyville.
Yeah, like Wrigleyville. Like go to Bearstown, Wrigleyville, and I think that you just take that whole area and you just make it its own thing.
Yeah.
Like you make the bars down so you can just walk up and down the bars. There's no like driving anywhere. So you can just walk up and down. People can take the train out.
Well, and that's the thing with the train being right there too. There you can either get off Arlington or Arlington Park, and they're both
really close,
pretty close
to the stadium. Yeah, and I also think that owning the stadium is gonna be beneficial for the business of the McCaskies if they plan to keep everything.
It'll make everything so much more expensive though too.
I think it'll make it the same, to be totally honest.
You think so?
But
I mean, that area is already kind of expensive.
Yeah, I think, but it's
apartments over there.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. That will definitely be more expensive in the area. But I was thinking, like, in terms of the Bears Stadium itself, like in Soldier Field or out here, the prices for everything will be about the same. The beer prices will be the same. I mean, everything will be about the same.
They got to make their markup and like everything like that.
Yeah, but the area around here will definitely get a little more expensive for sure. But I think that they should do it.
I think it'd be cool.
And I also think that I'm going to call this right now. Another one. We're going to clip this.
Here we go.
On draft night.
Okay.
NFL draft day.
This year?
Yeah. With their first pick, they're going to announce that they're going to build a new stadium in Arlington Heights.
See, I feel like they would have already had to start though.
No. They're gonna say that we're gonna break ground next week. I swear. I've got such a good feeling.
That would be like kind of cool.
Like,
I mean, we haven't like really heard anything outside of like initially
like,
when they were like saying they weren't sure.
Yeah. I think that was the plan though. I think that was the 100% the plan. I'm gonna go. We're buying everything in Arlington Heights. We bought the whole property. Oh my God, they're coming out here. And then the public schools are like, we're going to rail you with taxes because screw you.
Yeah, right.
And then they're like, fine, we're going to go back to the city of Chicago. And then the city of Chicago, you propose a really nice deal. Everything's written up. And then they're like, no, we're not going to do that. And then the public schools are like, wait a second, you have a chance to come back? Like, we'll lower the taxes for you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, we'll help you out. Like, and then they lowered the taxes and the Bears like, okay, for sure. We'll think about it. Like, and now they're kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
They're like right in the middle of the two. And I think on draft night, they're going to be like, we're going to build a brand new stadium in Arlington Heights, Illinois. Like, we're going to start breaking ground. This is our plan. Cool. And they're going to reveal the whole thing.
Do you think they should use like the original grandstands from Arlington Park? Those white ones?
I think they should, but I think they tore them all down.
Did they?
Yeah. I mean, have you seen it?
So like I see, and this is like how much I don't pay attention to stuff. I've been playing roller hockey over there at Salt Creek.
Right by Soccer City.
And I haven't even really looked.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's torn down already. There's like nothing there.
Maybe you are onto something.
Yeah, I mean it's completely. But the thing is that you do that anyways because it's like it's hard to tear that stuff down.
Yeah,
and you increase the value of the property by tearing it down. So even if a contractor wanted to come build like 500 homes there, which they probably could, and they could probably make a ton of money off of it. It is a perfect place for a stadium.
Oh yeah.
And you could build your casino hotel there as well. And just throw that up next to the stadium and have the whole Bearstown bar walk.
Get all the riffraff in there.
Yeah, and even have like townhomes, like Bears townhomes there, and you can sell those off and make tons of money off that as well. It's like a little
Bears village, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can totally there is so much real estate there. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And so you know how it's just like the racetrack?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not where the stadium would be at all.
No.
It would be, so when you get off the train, right? It's like the racetrack was right there. You're actually going to go like all the way towards the highway, and it would be like right by the highway.
You think over in that area?
Yeah, because it's like that's like the backdrop of it, and like if you like driving past the highway, it would be like right there next to you. It's almost like where the training facility
Yeah,
is.
it's kind of like how what is it? Bush Park.
Bush Park, yeah.
Is in St. Louis. You kind of drive like right by.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
You drive right past it, and you're like, whoa, that's cool. So I think that might be their way of doing things. I mean, you could throw how many advertisements on the side of the highway.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, and then you also have to walk through all the bars and like restaurant areas and merchandise areas, and you're just trying to make people buy stuff and go do things, and that would just make business popping.
Yeah, you should just call the Bears and let them know you have a perfect.
That's
idea.
what their plan should be already. I mean, I think they laid it out that way as how it already was.
Yeah.
And I got a really good feeling. I don't know why. So I'm calling it. Where if it happens,
that'll be crazy.
They might have to hire me as a sports analyst or something.
Maybe or it's like a fortune teller or something.
we got 2 future callings. We got Ovi getting to 1,000.
Yeah.
And the Bears are gonna announce it.
And it's still crazy. I think the Bears announcing is more of a long shot than Ovi hitting 1,000.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
And then I think Ronaldo also is going to get 1,000 goals. He's getting late in his career, but I think he can do it.
Well,
but that's probably in the middle.
Now?
He's in the Saudi league,
Saudi Arabia or something.
Yeah, you want to know a crazy stat about the Saudi league? So John Duran plays on Ronaldo's team, but he used to play for Chicago Fire when he was 19. He signed for a team in England, okay? And it was like 20 mil.
Not in the Premier League?
In the Premier League.
In the Premier League.
Yeah. He's unreal.
Yeah.
He's a goal scorer. He scored, like, amazing player. Played for Aston Villa. He was an absolute stellar player, okay? Scored lots of goals for the Chicago Fire. Scored lots of goals for them in Europe and in England. And then went to Saudi Arabia for about, like, 60 million. But in the clause in his contract from Chicago Fire,
I got to see this.
He gets a percentage of his transfer fee sent to the Chicago Fire. So the fact that one team in England sold a team to Saudi Arabia, Chicago Fire gets paid.
That's kind of cool.
That's so cool.
That's pretty cool.
So like, yeah, it's insane. So like, they sold him for like 60 mil, and Chicago Fire gets like 10 mil off that.
It's not a bad gig.
It's not a bad gig at all. He moves from team to team over in Europe, and Chicago Fire's like...
Chicago Fire get money still?
Yeah, they got money. So if he transfers again, they've got a transfer clause where like he'll get money if whatever the transfer fee is. It's crazy.
That is pretty.
And basically what it is, it's like a future investment.
So what does he make? Like, so they like purchased him whatever for like 60 million, right?
Yeah. And then he has a contract and makes a salary after that.
And I'm sure he's making buku bucks out there.
It's Saudi Arabia. They're the ones who buy players because they want them.
Doesn't Ronaldo get like 380 million or something like that?
I think it's
or like less.
No, I was thinking more. I think it's
okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
1.5. Like, I think it's either 1 or 1.5 billion over 3 years. Billion.
What?
With a B.
That's insane.
like he's like 500 mil a year.
Dude, that's like over 100. That's like 300,000 a game.
Yeah.
That's.
But the thing is,
could you imagine being worth that much?
The thing is that it's the Saudi Arabia, dude. They got oil money.
Do you think that's why he went there, so he could like potentially hit 1,000? Like, do you think it's easier to score goals in that league than it is in like the Champions League or like the Premier League? Or is it still just hard to score goals?
I would say it's still hard to score goals regardless. The thing is that a lot of Premier League players and really good players actually went to the Saudi League. So like
for the money, right?
Yeah, for the money. I'm guessing it's for the money. I mean, that's a lot of money. Like Karim Benzema, who played for Real Madrid, he was their striker. He went over there. Raheem Mahrez, he was also a striker for Man City, who just won the league.
Right.
He went over there. I mean, John Duran, who was playing in English Premier League and scoring wazoots of goals, could have been signed for Barcelona, honestly. He went over there to the Saudi League. So there's a lot of people that are really good. There's another guy from Chelsea who is the center mid. He also went there, Conte, I think. there's so many good players.
Just catching their bag.
Yeah, they're just cashing the bag. And in all honesty, it's nice weather there too. Probably. I mean, I'm sure they're very much royalty. They probably get paid 0 tax on their payments.
Yeah,
so all that money is just straight pocketed. I mean, they're really taking their family tree and turning it into like straight gold.
Yeah. I mean,
literally
1.5 billion for 3 years
for one guy. It's just, which is nuts. And I think it's about the same for the top 3 teams, and then for the bottom couple teams, it might be a little easier. Mm-hmm. But watching the goals that he's actually scored,
they're hard, difficult.
They're not
goals.
Easy. Like one of the goals he had was he jumped and like did a volley, and then it hit off the post and went down, and it was like anyone in any league is not saving that.
Right.
And then there's been like a couple times where there's headers or finishes, and they look exactly like anything that would happen in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. Very much so. So the stuff that I've been seeing at least is like, yeah, I think he could do it in Europe, and I think he could do it here. And the craziest thing was that he actually went to Europe. He went to Man United. Right. And they said that he was the problem. This is like a whole.
And then that's when he went to the Saudi league, right?
He went to the Saudi league after that. But they said that he was the problem when he was the one scoring all their goals. Right. Like he scored a hat trick against Tottenham, and it was just like literally just him. Corner, he gets up, headers it in. Like free play, it was him. Dices a couple guys, finishes, and he put so many goals away and won so many games for that team. At his age, but they said that he was the problem, and I think that's kind of where the controversies came from. But overall, I do think the Saudi League is up there. I think it's still pretty good,
getting better.
It's definitely not like the MLS, but the MLS is getting there. Yeah, because since Messi's joined, but like if you count all of Messi's goals for like MLS, I do think that the MLS is not as good as what the Saudi League would be, and obviously not as good as like English Premier League, etc. So. Because usually it's the all-stars of the MLS versus one Premier League team. Mm-hmm. And even they kind of struggle to beat them. Right. So because it's usually the washed-up Premier League teams. Or washed-up Premier League team players are on the MLS all-stars.
Right.
And it's like Bastian Schweinsteiger when he's like 36 years old versus like a prime 25, 24-year-old in Chelsea that's just going to take him out. Like,
run right by him.
Yeah. So it's good. I'd say it counts, and it's technically all Division 1, so even the MLS goals count.
Okay, that's
so if
fair.
he came to the MLS and scored 30 goals, they would all.
They'd still count as like his professional.
Yeah, because under like FIFA regulation, any Division 1 has to have a specific standard, and then that standard is like how much you pay your players, the stadium capacities.
Oh, okay.
The standard that you set is the Division 1 by regulation, and then. If you score a goal, it technically counts.
Got it. Okay. So that's kind of cool then.
Yeah. So, he could come to the MLS. I doubt he will. I really do.
Why would you?
I don't think he would. I think he would go back to Portugal.
Yeah.
I think he would. Because I think the reason Messi came here, I'm going to be honest, I think he came here because of his wife.
Oh, did he?
I think so. It's not like confirmed.
Is she from here?
No, I think that she didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia because he
was on playing PSG, right?
Yeah.
Before he left, and then he came
which
to
is
Miami.
Also Saudi money for PSG.
Right.
So that's why he was making a bank, and he wanted to stay at Barcelona for his entire career, but they just didn't have the money. They were losing funds. But now through their academy program, they have players that are so good that they can make money off of them and sell them. And like you could sell Lamine Yamal for $150 million. And that's a player that you developed in your academy. So it's basically like whatever cost
return on your investment, basically.
It's huge. Which is like whatever the cost was to like have him grow up in your academy, which is probably, I'd probably say like $1 million from like ages, 7 to like 18, and he's still 17, I think. Right. Which is ridiculous. So like I think it'd be maybe around $1 million, maybe $500,000 for like the development of like a player. But that would be like the cost for the whole team, and then you could sell them for $100-something million, and that's like,
it's not bad.
That's 150 million% profit margins,
right? Yeah,
which is crazy. So, yeah, I think it's interesting to see where he'll go after Saudi Arabia, But I do think he's going to go straight back to Portugal, play for his team that he started with, and then go back. And then I do think Messi came to Miami because his wife was like, I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. I just want to like live a fun life and live with friends and live with family and just chill. And when you're in Miami and you have money, you're like everything's fun there. Like, it's warm, it's nice, like food, high rises, whatever. People with wealth live there, When you're wealthy, you're around other wealthy people. They're all going to connect, you're not living in the slums or whatever, anything like that. So, and I feel like Saudi Arabia is not developed enough to where they would be like loving the culture, because like the culture in Miami is totally like, I mean, it's Cuban, Barcelona, Hispanic vibes. Like,
right.
It's gonna be very comfortable for him, and it's also like, I don't know why they would probably have so much fun there.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, I think he might. I don't know if he'll go back to Barcelona though.
No.
I don't know. We'll see.
They should have just kept him.
I'm not making that call.
They should have just kept him.
We're not making. They should have. I don't know why he didn't take a pay cut to stay there.
I mean,
like, because some people do that. I mean,
yeah, no,
a lot of athletes
people
do.
definitely do that. But I mean, if you're that caliber,
yeah,
right?
You want to. I mean,
has he won like everything?
Yeah.
Is there anything else he can like do
in Barcelona?
Just like in general, like when it like any sort of championships or like, because they got a gold medal at the.
You got the Gold Cup.
They have a World Cup.
Yeah,
right?
You got the gold medal at Olympics.
Yeah.
Copa America. I don't know if there's anything he hasn't won.
Yeah.
Other than
at
like
that point, either chase your bag or just like take the discount and hang out.
Yeah, I don't know if. Well, there's like league titles he hasn't won yet, but like he hasn't played in that league. Like he hasn't won a Premier League, but he hasn't played in the Premier League.
Right.
So who cares? But he has Champions League titles. He has. Obviously, he can't win the Europa League or the Europa tournament because he's not from a European country. So his Copa America is that tournament. Yeah, there's not like a trophy where I've seen him be like, yeah, he hasn't won that, which is crazy. He's the GOAT for me, by the way. Dude,
everybody we watched growing up is like almost done.
I know. It's weird. But now we have a whole new generation, which is fun. The face of soccer is going to change for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's going to start in America.
You think so?
Once well, it's not going to be from America, but it'll be in 2026 in the World Cup. You're going to see some brand new faces, and those faces are going to be the new face of soccer. I mean, Mbappe's already one of them, but like you're going to see people from France like Barcola, who like people kind of know if you're like a good true soccer fan, but not like the world. Like everyone knows who Ronaldo and Messi are, but not everyone knows who like Barcola is, and he's going to shine, and everyone's going to be like, dude, this dude's amazing. And there's going to be a couple other French players that are going to pop off. And then obviously Lamine Yamal, Pedri in the center midfield. I mean, there's so many players that are going to be popping off, and people are going to be like,
themselves,
yeah, people are going to be like, this dude is him.
Yeah.
So, and it's crazy because Lamine Yamal will be 18 in the World Cup. 18 years old.
Damn.
He's 16 and he won a European trophy already.
That's crazy that they can play pros at 16.
Yeah. It's the only sport in America where you don't see a lot of the professionals as young ages for soccer.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Like, we should have in our, like, professional teams, like, 17-year-olds on the bench. Just to be there. And
just to get the experience and stuff.
Yeah, just sit them on the bench. Like, have them warm up on the field. Have them get used to what it's like. We're used to what the fans look like. Yeah. Sit them on the bench. Just have them have that experience. And if you're up 4-5-0, put him in the game for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Give him 5 minutes playing time. You really think he's going to lose 5 goals in 5 minutes? Like, I don't think that's possible in soccer. But just stick him on the bench if you need him. And I feel like we don't do that, which just kind of sucks. So.
Well, and like that's like the whole like European thing. Like they have their academies and stuff, right? We have
youth clubs that don't have
go to school.
You got to go to school.
Try and play college, and
youth clubs that don't have adult teams too. So
right.
Does hockey have youth clubs that go straight into professional clubs or no?
Not that I'm.
Because you have like the Chargers but they're not associated with any professional clubs.
No, I mean you have like your youth leagues, and then, I mean it's kind of. there might be like maybe at the higher levels like AAA, like with like the U18s, maybe.
Yeah, kind of like the Ice Hogs and stuff.
I'm not aware of any of it really, but like a lot of kids are like,
Mhm.
you know, to be 18 and play in the NHL or like, even they won't let you play in the AHL at 18.
Really?
You either have to be in the NHL playing or you're playing juniors, college, whatever.
So Bedard can't play in the AHL.
No.
What?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the rule on like what the I'm sure it's like some sort of development thing.
Yeah.
But like even like guys that are, 18, a lot of them are either already committed playing college somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
When I was when coaching and like even playing, it's like if you're you want to play D1 or you think you're going to the NHL or whatever, like if you're not playing juniors by like 15 or 16,
Mm-hmm.
then you got to try and win the race to 18 and play juniors from there.
Okay.
But because it's very rarely are you seeing true freshmen, true 18-year-olds going into playing college.
Yeah.
It happens, but it's like very rare.
Yeah.
A lot of guys need that like juniors.
So they'll go to juniors first and then to D1 or whatever.
It's just like you're playing against older guys pretty much, right? So after you're done with juniors, or after you're done with like youth league or whatever, you're playing with guys that are 1, 2, maybe 3 years older than you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then those guys are going to college, and they're 2, 3 years younger than the guys that are ahead
juniors
of
and
him,
seniors,
right?
whatever.
And
Yeah.
like that's all like strength. Like they're gonna be stronger, faster,
Yeah.
smarter.
More experience. 3 years of experience in hockey is a lot.
So like making that jump from like juniors to right into the NHL is like a pretty
Hefty bump.
pretty crazy. Like there's obviously people that have done, Bedard, Crosby,
Yeah.
McDavid, like
Ovechkin, right? He was also one.
well, so he was playing pro in the KHL for a bit,
Yeah.
prior. But I mean,
KHL
it's still
is
the continental. It's like the Russian,
Yeah.
NHL.
NHL.
Basically.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But like, yeah, you see a lot like guys coming from juniors is like a very rare thing to see, and like even then, like even when they do it, like them
Mhm.
making an impact right away is still like a very rare thing.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if, like, what sports would benefit the most from adapting that, like that structure of like having
I
a
think
youth
a
club
lot
go
of
into
them
a
would.
professional.
I mean, I think a lot of them would.
Even like NBA.
So I mean, the NBA kind of like I don't know what like the G League or the D League, whatever that is.
The G League feeders into the NBA, but it's like it's separate. It's not like a youth development program.
Right. I mean, that's guys that are like were those guys that were drafted?
Yeah.
'Cause
Usually the
it's-
guys that are drafted that aren't starters or on the first team usually play in the G League.
Right. Okay.
And then they work to get their spot. When they get called up, sometimes injuries, it's called
Mhm.
back, like kind of back and forth between the two. But
But I mean,
yeah.
and that's like another year of like development for,
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see like you say like you have PSG Youth Club and they go right into, or Barcelona Youth Club, they go right into the first team.
Mhm.
It'd be interesting to see like if you had an NBA Youth Club, like a Chicago Bulls Academy playing against the New York Knicks Academy.
Yeah.
And then you have that U16 team, and then it goes to U18, and then they
Right.
just transfer right into the
so
first
they have
team.
like they do like the World Junior stuff for
Okay.
like, hockey, which is like like the best of like USA, Canada,
Yeah,
Sweden. Like they'll have like the countries will have like their top like 21 and unders, or
Yeah.
And like the U.S. has like kind of like a youth academy thing, like the National Development Program,
yeah, which is nice.
where it's like if you're picked up, like you could go there as early, I think is like 16 or something. But like you're training with like all like the best guys at your age in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to school still, like you're still getting your education and stuff like that. Like a lot of those kids are going to be committed going to D1 somewhere. like
Yeah.
that. But you're playing with and against the best of the best at that age group.
And that competition
and
environment is
that's
gonna.
like, exactly.
Yeah.
It breeds the competition.
Yeah. I'm just curious if I would benefit any of the other sports. The only thing I think it wouldn't benefit. I don't think it would benefit baseball.
I mean, baseball's got enough.
They got enough.
They got what, single A, double A, triple A.
Yeah. They have so many different leagues that it could.
Yeah,
it could
baseball.
be fine.
I mean, dude, there's guys that will never ever sniff the MLB.
Yeah, and they're unreal.
Yeah,
Like, and the baseball is such a weird sport because it's like you could be so good, but like you can't hit like a curveball like ever. You'll never make it.
Yeah.
You'll literally never make it if you can't just even get a foul ball off of it.
yeah.
Because that pitcher will just throw it every single time.
And like, not even to mention, like, you can play baseball for like a long time. You know, like, so like
those guys never refresh.
guys behind you are just waiting. You know,
like the NFL, it's pretty fast.
The
Like it's like 4 or 5
colleges are like pretty much like.
Well, it's like a 4 or 5 year career.
Right. Well,
Like,
and that's a lot of just like running
Yeah.
into each other. And
Yeah, and so like that I mean, those college guys are going in and replacing 5 years later, they're 6 years later, they're done. If you have someone who has like a 10, 12 year career in the NFL, it's like
pretty impressive. Yeah.
that's
I mean, a 10-year career in like any professional sport is pretty impressive, but like one as like hard as that, definitely.
Yeah. I heard they get like pensions after being in the league for so long.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, you get paid-
I'd imagine, yeah.
You get paid for like forever. That's just crazy. Like by the league. Obviously the league has to make money still, but
I mean, yeah, it's like the biggest entertainment business in the world, I think.
yeah,
The NFL.
one of them. NBA's lacking a little bit, but it's still up there. I mean, it's still making so much money, so they're just making a little bit less money.
I
than
think
they
it's
did.
because the TV stuff is like kills them.
Yeah.
I've been to one basketball game my entire life, and it was like at the UC watching the Bulls game, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
But like, I could never sit down and watch a basketball game on TV because like half the stuff that goes on at the stadium you don't see.
Yeah, right. I almost think that they should
commercials.
do that. Like if you're watching a local Chicago channel,
Yeah.
they should let you see the halftime entertainments or quarterly entertainments.
So I wonder, have you done that like that app they have now?
Which app?
The app, I don't know. I think the Bulls are on it. The like
Bulls app?
Chicago Sports.
Oh no, I haven't. I've seen it though. I know what you're talking
I think the
about.
Bulls are on that.
Yeah, I
aren't
think they are. Yeah,
I haven't paid for it.
I haven't either. But it's like the Chicago Sports app, and you get access to all Chicago sports.
Yeah,
I haven't done it yet, but I saw it.
I think except for the Cubs because they're on that marquee network.
Yeah, yeah. I think it would be good if they did that though, like Channel 5 or whatever the news. Like, whatever
no,
local channel.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if
Just
like
throw
on
it
like
throw the
that
halftime shows on there.
to see I want to see the
The
guy make
guys
the
that-
half court shot or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
like the guys who are doing it for like the 10K or whatever.
Yeah.
And LeBron tackles the dude.
Yeah.
That was a funny moment. But
Yeah.
like you don't get to see that on TV.
No.
Only clips.
Well, and because like they don't have, I mean, like the nice thing, like I guess, well, it's just different with like the NHL. Like they have the intermission, so like they go back into like the booth and they have like the breakdowns of like.
Yeah, and they kind of
stuff,
have that
but,
in
like,
the, in the NBA.
Like the NBA in between quarters is what, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever.
It's just a commercial break basically. Like an elongated commercial break.
Right.
The halftime they go back to the booth, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to see like what happens in the stadium, or just
Oh,
get
I
a
agree,
little glimpse of it.
I agree.
You know? But yeah, I don't know. What did you think of the four nations tournament?
I don't ever want to see another All-Star game weekend ever again.
That was I 100% agree.
I don't ever want to see it again.
I agree. I think that the only thing fun about the All-Star weekend is the skills competition.
But they even like found a way
that's
to
it.
ruin that the last
Yeah.
few years, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought the Four Nations was awesome. I mean, it sucks you seeing some guys getting hurt and stuff, but like
They're going out there to like fight though. I love that.
You
I love
know.
that they're fighting for their country though, and it
yeah,
meant something.
I mean, I don't have any horses. Like I'm not an owner for a team or anything, so like
yeah.
I'm fine seeing those guys go running through walls and stuff. You know, like,
I think the best part about it was, I mean, not really like the politics behind it, but the politics behind sports itself.
Yeah.
Was when Canada booed the national anthem,
yeah,
and then there was an immediate 5 or 6 fights.
Yeah, the
Everyone
fights,
was
yeah.
just fighting, and then there was like a minute gameplay.
I mean, that's how you
and then
gotta-
fight and then fight.
that's how you got to do it. Like
It's the only sport where it's like legal to fight, other than legal fighting sports.
right, yeah.
I think that's the
I mean
best
that
part about
start
it.
that start was definitely it was super electric for sure.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved it. And I'm sure people who don't watch hockey or only watch it for that reason were like super amped up. And I mean it set
Yeah.
the tone for like the rest of
The whole tournament.
because like the U.S. always was like constantly getting bullied by Canada.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Canada's just got those dogs, man.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
you know, we
Canada's just,
like they had like we had like a good physical team, but like why is Patrick Kane not on that roster?
I don't know.
Give me Chris Kreider instead of Patrick Kane, like
yeah. Why would you not put him on that roster?
that's what I'm saying. Like Canada had like a lot of their skill guys, you know, out there, and we had Chris Kreider and like some grinders, and it's like I get it, like you're building a team for 4 games, and like you kind of need some toughness out there, but like
throw some skill in there.
At the same time, we're trying to win games.
Rotational first line guys,
right?
Like I totally agree. I was kind of curious why they didn't bring some more big guns, but
yeah, I mean you're not gonna bring DeBrincat either, like.
And does that call come from the NHL? Like,
so
they don't want to do
it's just Bill Guerin. Like he's like who's like the GM, so he just picks he tells the players, you know, hey, you're, you know, we're interested in having you. And it's like I don't know who would say no, but
I don't know why you would say no.
The player to,
especially hockey players, man. Hockey players love the one thing that they love the most, other than NHL, obviously, is literally playing for their national team more than anything. It's like you play for your NHL team, you're gonna fight hard. But when you're playing for your national team, every time they put on that sweater,
it's so
you
different.
have Miracle on Ice, you have like all these histories behind the rivalry between Canada and the U.S.
Right.
And oh, dude, they go nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I never want to see another All-Star game ever again, unless they go back to the format it used to be when it was 5-on-5 and East versus West, and like that's the one thing I like that baseball does is they like. It's like the NL and AL, right? And then whoever wins gets home field advantage during the playoffs.
Yeah, I think
make
that's
it
amazing.
worth something.
Yeah, or the charity thing. I don't know if you saw the NBA, what the NBA did.
No.
So it was like the first 3 quarters was like play for fun, essentially, and then it was like essentially a score reset in the 4th quarter. So it was like 0-0. And then that 4th quarter, whoever won the 4th quarter got to like pay out like a ton of money towards a charity that they wanted to choose.
Right. Okay.
So like once that 4th quarter hit, it was like they did a tip off to like start the game again, basically. And then it was like such intense basketball.
Yeah.
Because they're fighting something. Yeah. They're fighting to like get that money to be like the ones that pick the donation that they want to send it to.
Right.
And then like they were going at each other, like playing really hard, full court defense. And they had like the 3 quarters in the front section where they were kind of just like throw the ball up from half court, like do some lobs and stuff. And then once that 4th quarter hit, they were like, we're getting after it.
Yeah.
Which I think is sick. But I do think that just replacing All-Star game and throwing all the All-Stars in something like that, I'd much rather see that.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
And like all of that BS politics behind it where Canada's booing the national anthem, they do the fight. Good.
Yeah,
it's gonna make the game like so much more fun to watch.
You know, they can do. And that like I know bothered a lot of people, but like
it made me like I was like, you got to beat him now.
I mean,
you got to beat him now.
You want to win every game, right?
Yeah.
And I like completely understand like where they were, where their point of view is coming from,
right?
You know, but like I don't give a shit.
Yeah. The best part I liked about it was the fact that they fought right after that. It didn't
rub me the wrong way like it did a lot of other people. Like they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah. For me, it was like, this is totally hockey.
Yeah.
This is total hockey.
Well, and it's like, I mean,
that's like, how it rubbed me. I was like, this is awesome.
Those first few fights were like good fights. Too,
yeah.
Right. Like,
it's the crazy part. It's literally the only sport you can fight in. Yeah. And I told this to my friend, I was like, what? Right after the Nations Cup, I was like, what if you added that to the NBA?
Dude, that would be out of control.
Like, what if you watched LeBron just like start beating on some dude?
LeBron's
and it's
the first
legal.
guy you go for that.
What if LeBron's gonna be the one that's gonna like,
dude, he's not swinging on anyone.
Yeah, but if someone's like, nah, like I'm pissed, and he like tries to, and they just like let them go at it, and they wait to separate them,
he'll just flop over right away.
But like the thing is that if
I'm trying to see like Draymond Green, someone who's like actually like
a fighter,
like a rough guy out there.
Draymond Green, who would he fight?
I don't know. Who's like another tough basketball
Dude, you don't think Draymond Green would fight LeBron though?
But the question is, would LeBron fight Draymond?
If it's legal, yeah.
I think he's too soft.
Really?
I think for as big as he is, like
And I guess you'd
feel
still
like
have to
he's
give
kinda
him
soft.
like the 5-minute penalty or some kind of penalty.
Yeah, I mean it'd be smart on what's his name's part to like
Kick him out of the
get
game,
him off the floor and stuff. But
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really watched much basketball, but like,
Imagine if that was in the
is
game of
LeBron
basketball,
still
though.
like? Is he still like
I mean,
that
he still
guy?
he still gets. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't be. That's kind of how his game is, though. Like he plays big, strong, tough,
I mean,
fighting.
yeah, but he's always like. Also, if you like blow on him wrong, his arms are flaming.
Yeah, true,
You know,
true.
like,
Yeah,
and I think the whole
like
thing
Luka
with
Doncic would
Bronny-
probably go after somebody
Yeah, I mean,
because that's Luka. I mean, he's
probably.
Serbian.
Yeah, he's a gamer.
Yeah.
You know, like he.
Yeah, he'll be like, "I'll mess you up."
Which was like so. You seem like pretty in tune with like basketball and stuff.
Somewhat.
So that like trade that Luka for Anthony
Yeah.
Davis trade, was that like that big of like a
That was that big.
is it two similar players or like
No,
different playing styles, right?
no, it's an all-star versus a like good role player.
And who
Like,
who
it's
would
a
be
f-
who?
So Luka Doncic is like a
He's a
franchise player.
superstar,
He
right?
is the superstar.
Right.
He carried the Dallas Mavericks to their championship.
To that championship, right? Okay.
Like he is that guy. He's him.
yeah.
It's like saying like it's hard to relate to like hockey.
That's
But
someone
it's saying like you would trade Patrick Kane for Patrick Sharp.
oh, okay. Yeah,
Like
not
your
really
Patrick Kane's the winner.
not a fair trade, really.
Yeah. Sharp is still good,
Right,
but he's not Pat Kane. He's not
Yeah.
Patty Kane. Right? And it's like you can almost put it to the level of like Crosby and Patrick Kane, where like Crosby, you'd be like, dude, Crosby can carry the entire team, and Patrick Kane's good, but he's not like the franchise player. And there was also like history behind it because the owner thought that, oh hey, like we're concerned about your weight. Like they were concerned about him getting big. Like he's in the NBA, he needs to be big because these other guys are huge.
Yeah, right.
Like these other guys are massive.
Is
He's
that
still,
what it was, really?
No, it wasn't always that, but that's what some of the speculation was. They had notes and stuff, and
Because he's like getting too chubby or something.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
getting
if
too
he can
chubby.
if he can still move and shoot the ball, who cares?
yeah, and the way that he plays
Yeah.
is the kind of a little bit chubby guy,
Right.
where he's not like unfit. He's still fit to play.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
can still run up and down. He just like looks a little chubby. Who cares?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, and the way he plays is he plays like slow, methodical. He like can go fast. He can stop. The whole thing is that JJ Redick said it best was like, this dude can stop on a dime, like a dime.
Mhm.
Like he can full sprint and stop on a dime, and you would go flying, and he would be standing still, and he can still do that. So you shouldn't be concerned about that. And the way he plays, he posts up, he shoots over people, he's quick, he's agile, side to side. Like he's not a guy that's a point guard that needs to be running up and down like super fast. Like he's not Steph Curry. If Steph Curry
Yeah.
got chubby and a little bit slow, that'd be a problem for his game. Luka Doncic, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, but Anthony Davis is a good player. Max Christie, Rolling Meadows graduate, was also in that trade.
No shit.
Yeah, Max Christie.
What
Yep.
year did he graduate?
Like before me, it was like 2020 maybe 2019.
Oh, so he's still
He's
like
young. He's
younger.
like 21. He's in that
Oh,
trade.
shit, that's
Him
funny.
and AD went to Dallas, and they got Luka and another guy, I think, or some picks or something like that.
Huh. I
Yeah.
didn't even know that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Shout out Rolling Meadows.
Shout out Rolling Meadows. Shout out Max. Yeah, and also it was after his brother got drafted by the Clippers.
Oh.
So it was
just-
LA Lakers, LA Clippers.
Is he
the
from
Christie-
Meadows?
Yeah. They're both they're Arlington Heights kids.
Arlington Heights kids, yeah, I figured.
But-
no
but they're-
Meadows kids are making it out the hood like that.
True. So yeah,
I
Arlington
think
Heights
every
kid. Meadows High
professional
School.
athlete out of Meadows has been from
Arlington Heights.
yeah.
Jimmy, you got the singer for Rise Against was in Meadows.
Arlington Heights kid.
No, I think he was a Meadows
I
kid.
think he was Arlington.
I thought he
Heights.
lived off like Wing Street,
No,
or his parents did.
I think he was an Arlington Heights kid.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought he was a Meadows kid.
they were all. I think all of them were.
Then there was that runner too that no one talks about. There's like a marathon, like competitive runner. He was on the board when I was in high school. I used to read about him all the time, and I'd be like,
Oh, really?
yeah, but like no one remembers him because it's like NBA or like competitive running,
Cross
and-
country.
Yeah. But yeah, in terms of the trade, it's mind blowing.
So is like LA like doing well now, or
yeah.
because I know they like,
very much so.
I mean the whole so like
they're going to the playoffs. I think they're playing right now.
That was the other thing with LeBron is I think like the whole thing with like his kid,
Bronny,
kind of like
I get
tarnishing whatever like
yeah.
positive reputation he had. I mean, I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
He wasn't
if it
even
was
a good
positive.
college player.
He wasn't.
Right, he was averaging like 2, and like
he was injured though. He had some injury problems.
You got to stay there and develop though. You're gonna be playing against bigger guys. Like look at your dad, bro.
But I do think it was smart for them to pick him up because you can throw him in the G League. He can get that G League development.
It's just such a tough look though. I think,
but he can get a G League development. That's the thing is they're putting him in the G League now and letting him play there and get good minutes there, and that's the development you're gonna probably see from him. Because it's either that or you develop in college where you're still gonna be going to school, where G League is your full-time job.
Yeah, maybe he should have stayed in school because it doesn't look like basketball is going to be like a job for him.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. He does do pretty well in the G League. We'll see if it can transfer over.
It should be the best in the G League.
Yeah, I mean, he dropped like 30 points or something. NBA. He dropped like 33 points when one of the G League games. So
yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of impressive. I don't know shit about basketball. So.
Yeah, so it's pretty good, but the real reason behind why they actually drafted him is all the business side of things. 100%. Business and marketing side of things. And in terms of that, it's genius. Yeah. If you 100%. Didn't pick him up in LA, you're stupid. Yeah. I hate to be that guy. Like all the clips and videos and views and ticket sales for LeBron and all the celebrities in LA buying the tickets for Bronny to go see Bronny and LeBron play together for the first time and him checking into the game.
Yeah, no,
them checking in together.
I definitely get the fan allure, and
that's how you got to make money somehow. Yeah. And that's definitely a way to do it. But yeah, I totally agree with you. He's not an NBA caliber player. But he is a G League player, I would say. Yeah. And he'll get. I think he'll get there because the amount of pressure that's going to be on him to perform and how much he's going to want to put into the game. I don't think it'll be too much for him because he's already had that pressure his entire life. So he's kind of used to it.
Maybe he's got big shoes to fill.
I think his younger brother's gonna be better.
I didn't even know he had a younger brother.
And he looks like a baller. He has the goggles. Oh. He looks so sick, and it's awesome. Yeah. I want to see him come to the league and never wear contacts. I need the goggles, dude. I need the goggles. When he plays, he has to keep the goggles.
He's making the statement.
Yes, I like that. No one wears the goggles in the league. No one. And he's got to be that guy.
Have come such a long way.
Yeah, because contacts, yeah. But he's got to be that guy that wears the goggles and like never wears the contacts.
Just sets the tone, yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Because you see the goggles and you know it's him. Like you know it's him. Yeah. Because back in the day, it could be a couple people here and there. Nowadays, everyone's wearing contacts, so like it's whatever. But he's got to be that guy.
Yeah, the rec specs are kind of a statement.
They're sick. He looks good with them. I mean. I think he looks sick. Because who was the one who wore them earlier?
Oh, I have no idea.
There was one basketball player I know that wore them, and he was like, yeah, he was sick. He was on the Magic. I forget his name. Yeah, but I can see his photo of him like guarding like this, and he's got like his rec specs on.
Rec specs,
dude, they're so sick.
Maybe it's not as big of a statement as we think if we can't remember the guy's name.
That's true. But that's because there's so many people that did wear them.
That's true. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
But now if it's only him in the entire league, we'll know.
They'll know, yeah.
Yeah. Fair. So, yeah, dude. All right. Appreciate you coming on. We covered all the topics I wanted to talk about. So,
hell yeah. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, this is a good time. Yeah. So, if you guys have any questions, reach out to me or Aaron. Let's give a shout out to your Instagram if they ever need to contact you.
Buttery_Blakes.
Love it.
No butter. Capitals.
Got to get the butter biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, before you go, have you seen Jake and Ollie from YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
You guys, if you haven't seen what hockey boys are to the maximum level, Jake and Ollie on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're hilarious.
On the bench guys, right?
On the bench guys, yeah. Jake and Ollie here.
No free ads.
No free ads. All right. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Later, everybody. Peace.